that gave the entire universe, and it was dominant in matter, not antimatter, which of course is asymmetry. So he has to account for two things. One, how out of anything except energy can come everything, and next, how it was asymmetric. When the pattern in science is, at least if something comes out of this, we get a particle and an antiparticle, which is what we have observed, and this is definitely not that, and we're also talking something which is the entire universe, and not a particle, which the two are immensely different in about 10 to the 90th power.
But the universe is formed based on particles.
Well, that's what the physicists would call it, and an astronomer would call it in that manner and look at it in that manner, so there's nothing inappropriate in the way I said this. That you would take about 10 to the 90th particles in our universe, and that's the approximate mass of the universe, and I think they got a reasonable understanding on it.
So you're a scientist. What makes you convinced that what is the evidence for actually Judeo-Christian God exists?
Okay,
I'm really sorry
for me personally,
I'm interested in science, but I'm not nearly as good as maybe you are. I'm
Here, I'll add you that. You can tuck it in your pocket. Just tuck it in your pocket. You know, I carry this around, and you do know my story, how stupid I was.
I don't know if I've read your story.
You know, we carry those around.
Thank you,
right,
Dr. Gunnar.
Okay, I was a student at Berkeley, and I had an encounter with God. So if you want to ask personally how I know,
Now, what were you studying at Berkeley? Was that your PhD?
No, it was my undergraduate.
Your
PhD at the University of Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
I'll never forget. You were coming to the campus. But, no, so the universe begins. The universe must account for itself, and even the formation of life. I don't think that you can account for it by it just forms and develops itself.
I don't know.
That's the thing that
that's
I,
my honest question to you.
as a scientist, and I would tell you that I have studied it, and in fact I have thought about it, and worse than that, I've even lectured on it.
So your chemistry and physics.
I have worked in college campus ministry as a speaker. It would be dishonest and disingenuous if I didn't tell you that. Campus ministry groups have had me on as an actual speaker on campus to give lectures on science and this very topic that I'm talking to you about. And having done that, I know it's unfair to tell you that. It is hard to believe. It is hard to believe that the universe could self-develop, because I'm going to ask you a philosophical question, and it's a tough one. We mentioned the laws of physics and chemistry. Philosophically, have you asked yourself, what are they?
Are they?
I
don't know.
This is a horrible question. I mean, this is a terrible question.
Can you sit down? His legs are hurting.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sit down gladly.
Thanks.
If I do that, and if I could just watch if he runs off.
Okay, I'll keep an eye.
Just if we could keep an
Is
eye.
your son?
Yeah, he's my son. I have to just watch him. He just needs observation.
Sure.
All right. If the laws of physics, the law of gravity, people understand electrodynamics, magnetic attraction, and so on. If these are nothing more than observations, which they can be, we still have to account for what they are. But let's say that there's something special. Are they special, or are they just observations? Because philosophers have differed on this question, and you can see why I'd ask this. Because, you see, if they're special, I'm going to ask you what makes them special, and if they're observations, then that's what we have observed. We observe these things and give them these names, so minimally they are at least observations, but if they are anything else. Because certain physicists, Stephen Hawking, for instance, has made the law of gravitation, and that's his field when he was alive, he made it really special, as if it was a god, if I could put it in quotes.
I don't really understand that. How can a developed theory turn into
If you read Hawking's book, that followed the brief history of time, and I've forgotten the name of it. It's Hawkins and some other person. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of it. You just type Stephen Hawking and you'll find it in his book. He over-elevates, in my understanding, the idea of gravity. And so he made it something really special. I have met physicists in my travels and speaking that have thought that the laws of physics were eternal. They were special. Something has to exist to account for things, and the laws of physics do, and they account for it. But that doesn't explain how things develop. The physicists are wrong.
I don't really know.
Okay,
I think
I'll give it
have-
to you this way. I am a chemist. I like
I
the
don't have the
out.
authority to talk about this, and so, because I've never actually studied to that.
Okay, I tell you as a chemist, I look up, I see the green leaves, and I know that they come from chloroplasts in the leaf. I know that in the photosynthesis of carbon dioxide, water going to sugar.
Thank you, sister. God bless you.
That
Yes, have a good day.
with
Okay,
sunlight,
thanks for coming.
that is 700.
Sorry, Dr. Gunnar. God bless you. Thank you for your work. I appreciate you.
All right. That with 700 different chemical reactions, and they have to work in sync. That it's hard to believe that it just came to be. We cannot duplicate the process of photosynthesis.
I don't know.
Well, next thing is, did you know that, to my knowledge, and I say this only to my knowledge, we still cannot, without biological molecules, make DNA. We need the biological molecules to make DNA.
You are talking. So you are saying, well, what are some biological molecules are talking about?
What I am saying is, it's hard to believe how DNA could form, given that that we don't know how to make it except through the molecules available that makes DNA.
So you are talking. What's the molecules are talking about? Like.
I'm talking about whole biochemical systems. And the difficulty
Actually,
is,
I think DNA has been synthesized.
yeah, I said it.
Okay, thanks
Careful,
for coming.
careful,
God
careful
bless.
how I said it. You need to use the molecules of life in the way nature makes it in order to make it. We cannot make it, careful, I'm a chemist. We cannot make it in the lab.
Yeah, we can synthesize them with like basic ammonia, water.
No, you can't.
There are actually experiments.
No,
on it.
you can make the amino
You
acids.
can make amino acids, but you can still.
Okay,
Same thing with pyridines.
you are right. You can make pyridines out of it, but it's a long way from making DNA. How we make that is entirely
Sorry,
different.
do you mind if I take pictures?
You can take pictures.
Okay, just for a cause.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
This I tell you.
Oh, you can. Don't move.
This I tell you, and I say to you because as a chemist, I've always been puzzled by the fact that organic life decomposes rather rapidly through organic reactions. The death of organisms is through chemistry. The life of organisms is through biochemistry. Biochemistry is said to come from chemistry, but how can chemistry, which leads to death, lead to biochemistry?
That doesn't really make sense to me.
It will as a chemist.
Part of chemistry.
Chemistry leads into biochemistry, yet chemistry is destructive. Biochemistry leads to life.
Well, biochemistry is part of chemistry. It's not destructive. It's still follow all the
Chemistry, as it occurs, is destructive. I am a chemist. I will prove it to you.
But not really, because biochemistry is part of chemistry. The same rules of chemistry apply to
The
all
same rules apply. Then how did it happen to form? You see what I tell
The
you?
fact is, you have enough energy, you can make it happen.
No.
When there's
Energy doesn't make things happen.
The entropy is very high, and
No.
the entropy is still going down. Even
Entropy is
entropy is
going
going up, but since the entropy is going down because we have received a lot of energy from the sun, from our stars. Is
What?
that makes it's the whole
I'm not even
equilibrium.
My girlfriend's a PhD candidate. I was going to go visit her.
And all that
No.
process are
Can I?
you can explain by the
No. Can I interrupt you?
yeah, go ahead.
Would you let me interrupt and teach you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
In a physical process, entropy is always increasing.
Yeah.
In a physical process, if it starts with sunlight,
The entropy can go down if you take
no, it
that's
becomes
thermodynamics. If you take out energy, you can actually go from a less complex state to a more complex state if you have that energy. So
no. Actually, you're missing the word in this.
I'm really sorry. It's been like 2 years since I actually last had chemistry class.
And I'm going to, if you allow me to finish what I'm saying, you might understand why there's an argument here for something that you're not hearing yet. And that is, With directed energy, I can do something. Energy that is not directed doesn't do anything. And that is incredibly important. Sunlight actually is undirected. It will end up giving you a sunburn. It doesn't put things together, actually. It takes things apart.
Okay, well, so
I'm
sorry,
I don't want to belittle this, but what you said technically was right, but not the full picture. And I have to add a phrase to that. What I'm saying is that there has to be a directed energy, and when there is directed energy, like a pulley. If something goes up, something can go. If something goes down, something can go up, and that's what we have in biochemistry. But it isn't as simple as one thinks it is. It requires a sophisticated set of molecules to be present in the beginning in order to get it to work. Otherwise, the ordinary rules of chemistry are, and the ordinary rules are brutal. The ordinary rules of chemistry say everything flows downhill.
what's ordinary?
Everything goes downhill. Yes, everything goes downhill. It must. Water flows downhill.
It follows the same rule.
Everything flows downhill. The only reason it can go downhill is if something bigger went downhill and was coupled to something smaller going uphill. That's the only way you can get an uphill. Now that's as simple as I can put it to you, but
biochemical reaction is
that's one of the intriguing triggers on how biochemistry is hard to explain, because it does do that, and it does it a lot.
What's your explanation?
I agree that it definitely gets people thinking. I'm just
Not by a random, undirected process.
But by a god, right?
It is a reason to believe that someone started something off in order to kick it off. You couldn't go from chemistry, which, look, if I give you organics, you know what's organic? Your food. You.
Or plastic.
Your food is organic.
Yeah, or plastic.
Or plastic. They're all organic. I mean, okay, technically no. There are some inorganic plastics, and we've got to be careful.
Oh yeah.
But I will not go into those type. They're rare and they're used in heat materials. So they're heat polymers that can really take it. Silicone might be an example of something that is both. Silicones have a silicone oxygen backbone with organics on it.
Boron nitrogen.
Boron nitrogen can be an example of that. That's a network structure. Very tough. Can be made into fibers. Very important in terms of abrasive. But the difficulty that you should have on your point of view is that you have to explain how everything can come from ultimately nothing by ultimately nothing, or at least minimally, the laws of physics and chemistry.
Then how do you know God did that? And where did God came from?
Okay,